Alexa, set the timer for 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Starting
Yep.
now.
Alexa, shut off the timer.
15-minute timer canceled.
Alexa, set the timer for 14 minutes.
14 minutes. Starting
Oh.
now.
So you said it's a tradition, so it sounds like traditions are important and your family's important to you.
Yeah, I'm a very family oriented person. Like most of the things I do with my family in mind. Um, so like I love the fact that we've held on to these traditions for all 25 years of my life. So like Christmas we do a specific way, Thanksgiving we do a specific
Okay.
way, Easter is another big one that we do a specific way. The 4th of July is big just because it's a couple days after my parents' wedding anniversary.
Okay.
So like every year we do a big family trip, um, because it's tradition for us to all get together and go somewhere and explore somewhere together. And for so long it's been Disney, but like as we get older we explore different places
Okay.
like Mexico and Canada and all that. Next year we're planning on going to the Bahamas, after I graduate, for both my graduation and my parents' 30th wedding anniversary.
Okay.
So it's something that we all have to look forward to. And yeah, we're gonna argue here and there on the trip, but it's still an enjoyable trip.
Okay.
So this year was a little bit reckless, only because some last minute things happened that kind of changed the course of the trip.
Okay.
Like right before we were supposed to go, like my grandfather's motorhome broke down, so it was no longer a road
Right.
trip, and like my great aunt pulled out because she's her, but then decided she wanted to go. So it was just last minute decisions that kind of made it more stressful than it really
Okay.
needed to be. But yeah.
So I'm trying to think what else. So as you get older, and you talked a little bit about wanting to move out, have you thought about how that will look? And
Yeah, it's gonna be weird. Like I know that like I want to be somewhere local, just because like my siblings say it all the time. Like you can't move that far. Like I should be able to walk to your house, or I'm gonna, um, I don't want to lose complete and total access to you. And like that's always been something that stuck with me too. Like I can't imagine myself moving like hundreds of miles away, or so far that my siblings wouldn't be able to come see me if they really wanted to. We've always been really close, most of us, so it's like I don't want to ruin that by moving too far away. But like I can kind of just see it. Like it's the same way we are with my cousin and my brother. We kind of just pop in on each other when we really want to. Um,
so you have siblings that are moved away.
yeah, my older brother and my older sister do not live with us, and then
Okay.
my 19-year-old brother's away at college.
Okay. And how do you feel about that? How's that worked?
My older sister, she's an odd cookie. Um, she struggles a bit, and her struggles have kind of impacted the family, but that's a topic for another time.
Okay.
Same with my older brother. They've just struggled a lot and had a lot of difficulties that have kind of affected their relationship with the rest of us.
Okay.
So like when it comes to older siblings, I'm the older sibling because I'm third. They
Okay.
don't really have access to those two.
So you kind of take on the role of.
Yeah, so it's kind of always just been me.
Okay.
And then like when the older two need something, it's literally always just been me that they go to.
Okay.
So yeah, when I move away, I can't imagine them not having access to me or being able to come over if they wanted to, or spend the night or two or anything like that.
Is that a? I mean, it sounds like that's something that you'd enjoy and that everybody would want to happen.
Yeah, I think living on my own is going to be something I'm going to have to readjust to, because I lived on my own, but it was only while I was in college. And coming back home was it was a crazy adjustment because I was so used to doing what I wanted when I wanted to, having my own space, and to go back to living with like 7, 8 other people, it's like crazy. So I think going now from like how full my house is to a house where it's just me and my dog, like it's just
Right.
it's gonna be an adjustment. So I would be more than comfortable with them having access to me. Like, it's gonna be a real adjustment for me and my mom to not be under the same roof because we have a very very close relationship. Like I feel like the older I get, the closer we get. So I think it's gonna be an adjustment for both of us for me to not be easily accessible to her or vice versa when I do move out. So she was like, I have to get a key, and I'm just okay.
So one of the things I'm curious, when you talk about your family and things are moving away, you talk about doing it alone. Have you thought about, future entering into any kind of, partnership relationship or?
I've never really been big on dating or relationships. I really don't know why. I think I've only ever actually had in my 25 years of life one relationship, and that didn't last long. I got bored. I get bored of people very easily, so I've never really met anybody that could hold my interest for longer than a week or two.
So are you okay with that? Is that how you want it to be?
Yeah, like sometimes I think like, yeah, it would be great to have that level of companionship or partnership or something. Yeah, like everybody craves that on occasion, and it's not something that you can get from family or friends. But in the same token, I love my independence. Like I love my own company. I don't really need somebody. I occasionally want it, but it's not something that I am rushing to. If it happens, I have the mentality that if it happens, it happens. If not, it just wasn't meant to happen. So
that's good.
Yeah, it's just kind of always been my mentality. I have a hard enough time keeping friends.
So why do you think that is, or what you kind of laughed when you said that? What do you mean?
Well, I used to be one of those people that was very easy to manipulate, or one of those people that you could screw me over 1,001 times and it's still not over. And I had one really close friend that our friendship ended terribly. She was my best friend for 10 years, and then 3 years ago she got a boyfriend, and for whatever reason was under the impression that after 10 years of friendship I was gonna go after her boyfriend. So our friendship ended on a terrible note. And after that, it was kind of I kind of had to take some time to myself, not really interact with anybody, and just kind of figure out why I let people treat me like shit. And then I kind of casually decided I'm not going to do that anymore. So I'm kind of, it's had both a good and a bad effect on me, where I'm not giving you 20 chances to screw me over. You're lucky if you get 2. It's kind of I don't want to really give people that opportunity to take advantage of me anymore, or to I don't like showing people my vulnerability, or I don't know, I don't like really getting too close to people anymore.
So, and that was all because of this one friend?
It was after a series of friendships that ended. I was part of a very large group of friends that had been friends since high school, and then with this best friend, people had kind of said some stuff about her, seen some sides of her that I hadn't ever seen, and we were attached at the hip for 10 years. And it kind of affected our friendships to the point where people are just casually dropping off like flies. And then when it came to her and ending that friendship, that was a very tough decision for me. And my mom was just she pretty much told me, and I'm 95% sure she's right, that breaking up a friendship was worse than breaking up any other relationship. And it was terrible. It was a big adjustment because again, we were attached at the hip, and then having her turn out the way that she did kind of changed my perspective a little bit. I was bitter for a while, but...
So tell me a little bit, what were you bitter about?
That I invested not invested, but like I really, really thought I knew this person. I really thought that this person knew me, and to have you insult my character, my very person, by assuming that I would ever stoop so low to betray you in the way that you're saying that I am is just it made me very, very angry. Like, I didn't think I was capable of being that angry at this person. And then for you to then just toss our friendship aside, like, it meant absolutely nothing. Like, it wasn't even like we kind of came together and was just like, hey, we're not friends. It just stopped. Like, all contact we had a conversation about it and it just stopped. That was the end of it. And it made me pretty bitter for a while because, like, the least you owed me after 10 years of friendship, after you living in my house for extended periods of time because you didn't want to go home, for you, my dad being there for you because your dad abandoned you when you were 12. Like, for you to casually toss not just me but my family aside, it made me very, very bitter because now you're not just affecting me. You're affecting my parents. You're affecting my siblings. Like, everybody's wondering where are you and why do you not care about us anymore, and you didn't even grace them with that. And then the fact that we were going through all these arguments and everything when my grandmother, right after I told you my grandmother was diagnosed with ALS, like, you didn't check on her, you didn't go to her wake, you didn't go to her funeral, nothing. Like, that right there is just like, you're kind of dead to me at this point. Like, you were part of my family for 10, 12 years, and because of a boy, it just wasn't worth it to me. With that, like, I don't know, it was just...
Did you ever have that conversation with her?
I tried. I really did. Like, I've seen the way that she treats other people, so when she started to treat me that way, it was kind of a shock to the system, because it's like, you've never been shady like that with me. I've seen you do it to other people, and was I pissed off at it? Yeah. But why are you now doing it to me, and I've never given you a reason to, other than your insecurities about your relationship? So I tried to have a conversation with her about, like, you know, like, I'm seeing, like, your pattern of behavior now being directed at me, and I don't understand why. And she basically accused me of being clingy. She accused me of wanting her boyfriend. She accused me of not knowing boundaries, this, that, third. And it's just, I don't understand how you can accuse me of that when you literally lived at my house for 2 weeks and I had to tell you to go home. Like, I regularly had to tell you to give me some goddamn space, and now you're accusing me of being clingy. And, like, she started lying to me about dumb things, and, like, I tried to talk to her about, like, you know, like, this is how I'm feeling. Like, why am I feeling this way, and why are you telling me that it's unreasonable? And the conversation literally went in circles, and I don't have fucking time for this. Like, I have more important shit going on with my life than to deal with you being insecure about your boyfriend and where his eyes are wandering. Like, I don't want your boyfriend. Never have, never will. I can only tell you that till I'm blue in the face, but if you don't believe it, I don't know what you want me to do about it. And, I tried one more time after that to have the conversation. It was going in the same direction, and I think my grandmother had literally just died, and I was just, I don't give a fuck anymore. And it was pretty much that was the end of it. And then after that, I don't know, I literally took some time to myself. I didn't want to be bothered with anybody. I quit smoking. I started working out. I started applying to grad school. I was just kind of did like a cleanse of all toxicity from my life and just moved forward.
So was she the only person that was toxic, or were there other things that were toxic in your life? Because you said, you know, that you kind of had to decide why you let people treat you like shit. Was it just her, or were there lots of people?
Like I said before, like we were part of a bigger group of people,
okay.
And
you're not friends with any of those people
no.
anymore either? Alexa, turn off the timer.